Today I'll be showing you how just one plugin can turn your laptop into an orchestra. What's good everyone, it's Chambers from chambersmixedit.com, and today I'll be showing you how to make an Anthem beat from scratch. Triumphant, big, orchestral sounding production, all with Arcade by Output. Thank you for sponsoring this video. Now if you don't know what Arcade is, you are in for a treat. It's a powerhouse of a plugin. It's like if you took a sampler with a VST synth, put them together, added a bunch of effects and manipulation tools, that's what you come out with. There's a ridiculous amount of sounds available. You can sample them, you can play them out like an instrument, but I'd rather just show you guys. If you're interested in Arcade, you could have a 30-day free trial, and then after that, your first month is 50% off. Just hit the link in my description. I'm in FL Studio. I got Arcade loaded up here. First thing always is this is the most beautiful plugin I've ever seen. I love how intriguing it is visually because I'm not just staring at a long list of presets and getting bored. Like, it has some crazy images. Like, let's go to the home page. Look at all of these amazing visuals that we have for all these different types of lines. A line is pretty much a collection of sounds that all share a common theme. This is based on soulful sounding keys. These are based on vocals. This is all orchestral sounds that we're going to be using today. So the two that I want to focus on today are Producer's Orchestra and Anthem beats. You just click on it, takes you to this page, and you have three separate options here: a sampler, an instrument, and samples. So a sampler allows you to pretty much sample these different sounds that come in the line. The really cool thing it does is it takes several samples and maps them out across a keyboard. So every time you hit a different note, a different sample will play, allowing you to mix and match all these different types of clips together. Instruments functions like a regular instrument. I could play out chords or melodies how you normally would. And samples here are samples that Arcade already makes available for you. What I want to start is like a brass sound, some type of horn sound. So I could go to these tags here and I'll just click brass. So I really like brass staccato right here. I'm going to download that because I want short bursts of chords. Once it's downloaded, you just hit play instrument and that will take you to the main interface here. We're going to start out with some triad chords, just 3-note chords. I'm going to go back into the instruments for Producer's Orchestra and let's find another brass sound. You know, it's all about layering. Orchestras have layers and layers and layers of sounds. I like the texture of this sound, brass and wind staccato. I'm going to layer it on top of those same exact chords. I'm probably just going to bring it down an octave. So I'm going to get that rendered into audio. Now I want to move on to strings, do a few layers of those. Let's go back into Arcade, back into Producer's Orchestra. I'm going to reset the filter and we'll hit strings this time. I'm going to grab that first one because it just sounds huge. Yeah, that sounds amazing. Let's hit Control A to highlight these, Control C to copy, add a new pattern with Arcade open. Let's hit Control V to paste. And now let's take this chord progression that we had and make it a little bit different for the strings. Start by picking it up an octave or two. If I extend them all out to each other, it will sound sustained, but I could also cut them short if we wanted that staccato sound. I want to make it completely different than the other chords. We're going to do an inversion. We're going to take that bottom C sharp and invert it up 1 octave. Maybe drag it out a little bit. I might just cut out every other chord. So let's get that into audio. And we're not done with strings just yet. So I'm going to go back into Arcade and pick another string sound. Pizzicato, I definitely want some of those. So here, instead of playing on the beat like every other chord that we have, we're kind of going in between. And I want another section for variation that's a little bit slower, so I want to do it with some strings. Let's go back into Arcade. This time, I want to check out a different line called Anthem Beats. Scroll on down, and here it is. I'm going into instruments again, and I want strings. That one sounds crazy. That sounds like it's from like a movie score. I'm going to add another pattern. Let's take these chords first, copy those into that new pattern. I pretty much want to space these chords out a little bit more. So instead of bump, 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 it's going to be bump, bump, bump. That's dope. You can hear all the sounds that Arcade has layered in just that one instrument. But speaking of layers, you could actually go into the instrument, go to layer edit, and here we can view, edit, and manipulate all the different layers of sounds that are in this one instrument. And look at how cool this is. I could replace any of those layers with a large menu of other sounds. Sound design wise, if you want to come up with something really cool or creative, you could just hit this button here and it will randomize the next sound that you get. Yeah. Sounds really nice down an octave. To provide some contrast, we have all these bright brass sounds up here and they're really busy, and then we go lower octave, nice contrast for the beat. And I think I want to do one more instrument, and I'm thinking a piano because I really want like a nice boom. Let's go browsing. Let's go shopping here. It's like I feel like I'm at a mall. Like I'm just all these different stores are these different types of lines. They all offer something different. I've been eyeing this one for a while. So I'll go into instruments and then hit grand piano. Let's get that loaded up. And like I said, I just want to add a boom. That's simple. Let's get that into audio. Okay, fire. I really like that this beat has two different sections to it. And it's really cool that Arcade gives us access to such a wide variety of different sounds. Remember, you could get a free trial for 30 days. That's a whole month of Arcade for free. And then after that, you get your first month for half off, 50% off. I wouldn't pass up on that. Link down in the description for you. Now it's time for more percussive and drum sounds. So here's where things are going to get even more interesting because we're going to start using the samplers. One of my favorite lines that I use for drum sounds is drip. And what I listen for are certain loops and certain patterns that I want to extract out and play within my own music. With the Arcade samplers, they're mapped out across the keyboard and I can pretty much find what I want, take it out, and then put it into my own music. Okay, perfect. That perk sound, that whatever that is, I want that in this beat. So let's download that. And here we are in a sampler. It looks a little bit different from an instrument because we have our main keys right here, but the black keys are called modifiers. And I'll show you what those do. First things first, we do a little searching until we find the sound that we want. So yeah, that was easy. It was literally the second one, but I also wanted to show you guys what some of the other keys sound like. And that's always cool because it's like you have different pieces of a puzzle and you get to choose how they fit together. Coolest thing about Arcade is everything is synced everywhere. Tempo, key, all of that. So if I were to add another melodic element to this, I would put it on minor and then I would go to C sharp. And at the same time, we're at 130 BPM. Arcade knows this and automatically syncs anything. Now, if I were to change that and bring it like way up, it automatically adjusts to whatever tempo you're using. So that saves you so much time. So let's get that rendered into audio. Let's see what else Arcade has for us. It's really like an all-in-one plugin. Like I could do everything with this thing. That's fire. That hat and that clap, I'm gonna take that. And again, we have so many different menus and parameters that can be adjusted all for just one sample. You could do this with any sound. You could add an EQ within the plugin so you don't have to do it in the mixer at some other point. And we have these four main macros right here, which control a number of parameters that make the sound so much cooler. Like that sounds like a really cool chorus effect. I want to get that hi-hat too because that sounded really cool. And the note is G this time. This is where I want to show you guys the modifiers, the black notes, especially on something like a hi-hat loop that has a consistent rhythm to it. I just love to experiment, play the loop out, and then add black notes here and there to see what they do. Don't even try to comprehend what just happened, but it's crazy. We have some cool stutter effects, some stretch effects. So the modifier notes here in Arcade really make that sound much more unique. It gives you so much creative freedom and inspiration. So now I'm going to take everything that we have and pitch it down one semitone just to change up the vibe a little bit. And then we're going to add some more drums. I'm going to go into my undeniable drum kit and grab an 808. Maybe get an open hi-hat too. And why not some snares? Let's see, since we pitched it down one semitone, we're at C now. So you're doing a different 808 pattern. Normally people just go like this. But I'm doing a boom, 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 boom. So there you go. That's how you can make a big Anthem beat from scratch using Arcade by Output. Absolutely incredible plugin that you can use for so many different purposes, so many different sounds available, and so many different ways to change them and make them your own. You don't want to miss out on the opportunity. You could get 1 month completely free of Arcade, and then your first month will be 50% off. Link in my description. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a comment. Let me know what videos you guys want to see in the future. It's Chambers from chambersmixedit.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.